Later today, I'm going to be visiting the federal prison in Leavenworth, Kansas, to make a presentation to people serving time in that medium security prison and probably people serving time inside the minimum security camp that's adjacent to it. And I'd like to give you a little backstory on how this happened. You see, this all really started more than 35 years ago, back in August of 1987, when I was 23 years old and authorities took me into custody. A federal judge later sentenced me to 45 years. You can see in the flash to the image that I'm showing behind you what a federal courthouse looks like. You've probably seen them before, but that's where my journey started back in 1987. After a judge sentenced me to 45 years, I just made this decision that I was going to use all of the time that I served to prepare for a life of meaning and relevance and dignity. And that's what carried me through 9,500 days in prison. The whole idea was that I would take the lessons that I learned of going through prison and show other people how decisions inside can lead to either opportunities for prosperity and success, or they could lead to challenges after a release from prison. And those challenges could include homelessness, unemployment, underemployment, or trips back to a federal courthouse with new criminal charges. And that happens more often than we'd like to see in the United States. But our team at Prison Professors really strives to help people in prison understand that the decisions a person makes today has an enormous impact on what that person can become in the weeks, months, years to come. And so this whole reason that I'm here in Kansas City, it began because I was making presentations to judicial conferences where I would speak about the importance of reforms in the criminal justice system. And that's where I had an opportunity to speak with a guy by the name of Andre Matavusian, who used to be a captain in a prison where I was confined. And while I was in that prison, he actually presided over me getting a disciplinary infraction and going to the hole for doing what? Well, talking and creating courses that would teach people how to succeed. But at that time, the prison system was different, and they didn't want people like me, prisoners, developing influence within an institution. And I had a lot of influence in those institutions for a number of reasons, primarily because I served such a long sentence, and I served that time in prisons of every security level. But when he saw me making a presentation at a judicial conference, he invited me to come and start creating what led to an invitation that led to a program that I created for the Bureau of Prisons in Atwater, California. And then I went to create a different program for the people in Florence, Colorado at the Supermax and the High Security Penitentiary in Florence. And now he has been promoted to become a regional director of the Bureau of Prisons in the North Central Regional Office. So he presides over 19 different institute or complexes, which means about probably 50 different prisons, maybe 20,000 different people serving time in federal prisons. And he invited me to come and make a presentation to all of the wardens in the Northeast region, North Central region, which I will be doing tomorrow. But since I'm here for an extra day, I get the privilege of going inside of the federal prison in Leavenworth. I wish I could take my camera with me, but I will certainly make a report later and give a follow-up on how that worked out. But I am Michael Santos with Prison Professors. We really believe, and anybody who's going into the institution should be thinking about what can you do to prepare for a life of meaning and relevance and dignity. And we want you to know that there is life after a challenge. And if you want to get those kinds of resources, visit us at prisonprofessors.com, where we give away everything for people to learn and hopefully to improve outcomes for all justice impacted people. Again, I am Michael Santos with Prison Professors. I do hope that you will subscribe to our channel and that you'll become a member of our community. Thanks.